What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. There is a ton of information to shove into one market watch, so I'm going to give you that faster pace you love while still trying to get all the information together. Let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with, every time I look at these cards, they seem to go up a little. Phantasme towards 110 still, and Pot of Extravagance towards $75. It was 72 lowest the other day. That's not the biggest bump up, but it continues to move upward if you're trying to get this card, and quantities are running out. Just kind of that effect of more players than ever playing in the fall season. Local attendance is up, you have YCS, regional attendance up. It's pretty crazy for a fall and winter season like never that we have seen before. And it's not just the top cards, but we'll get to that in a second after another one. Impermanent Secret Rare is getting bought out right now towards the $70 mark, now jumping $20 above the Ultra. Just a couple weeks ago, it was towards $60, and I emphasize that whenever you have just $10 more for a first edition original version, you should probably buy that playset over the Ultras if you're in the market for it, because if a reprint is announced, guess what? This is going to fall out much more slowly, and if things are going to go up and quantities are going to go off market, this is going to remove itself from the market first. So you see that history repeats itself. The highest rarity version is what's going up, as the other version just sorely freaking needs a reprint anytime soon. Konami, please announce that March set, will ya? We're getting close. Mathematician for Orcust is going up for its holographic versions. We see over here that, wow, $12, $13 for the secret rare from Dragons of Legend, and because of that, even the gold rare version is going up. People just want to have a holographic version. Commons, barely moving. You still have 50 cents matching its market price, so you have a budget option if you're in the market for this card and you're looking for budget Orcust, but the players are really running off with this one. We see it's $10 lowest on eBay about, and it does somewhat quickly rise over here as well. Very few copies on market for the original. Now, Dragons of Legend is a very expensive set, so it's understandable that these will fall out on market less, but we had just recently featured this, I feel like, bumping up to $6, and you see this rebump. Talking about rebumps, my buddy Deceiver recently featured Into the Void today, and we see it spiking again. So this is a card that recently went out of quantities. It's been getting a lot of hype. He did a discussion, and whenever you have a giant tuber put a spotlight on a singular card, the card tends to bump up. Now, I would usually suggest using my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra, to support the channel directly for not much, extra, but always check both as well. Over on eBay, this is still very affordable for near mint copies. It doesn't go up even that quickly if you're looking for $12 versions. So if you're freaking out, you're like, oh no, I can't get it. It's a $60 playset. It's still around the $36 playset. And I understand for those of you that still don't want to pay $36 for a playset of this. When it was $1 back in the day, I heavily suggested it. But Battles of Legend, the original, when you open that box, you pretty much got the full playset. Well, not playset. You got the entire set in a sense. Like, people got every single secret rare almost consistently out of this box. So looking at sealed boxes, they're actually looking a little more appealing if you're chasing down the Ultras. I might go look through YouTube, see how the openings went for Into the Void, and you've got a lot of freaking cards that have been rising over time out of this, or very stable. So I usually say buy the singles, but this is one of the best packs of all time. Might go a little hunting with the ripping open pack. Speaking of draw cards that I think are highly underestimated, Sekka's Light Prismatic looks beautiful. I get that this has multiple printings, also has a super rare, so it's not going to spike like Into the Void, but I think one day this variant of the card will be a $5 card and will work its way back into a metagame. Cyber Dragons are spiking. This is kind of odd to me because Cyber Orcust became a little less powerful, yet people still like Nashor for dumping an Orcust piece out of hand, being able to get a body on board, and really help out your combos when you need to get them going. So Nashor actually still rising here above its market price. We see it above $12 freaking dollars. On eBay, it's a little cheaper. We see 10, then 11, but we see it quickly match that price point. So I think the interesting thing with Nashor is the rest of the deck is kind of cooling off. We actually see Mega Fleet. Remember, it was bubbling from 12 to 15. We see it, and you could tech Cyber Dragons. We see it down overall. We look at Cyber Emergency. Remember that bubbling towards $35, down towards 29, which we predicted it might fall all the way down towards 25 from the max of Cyber Dragon hype. And stuff like the Infinities still pretty affordable. So when we look at it in the aspect of Cyber Dragons, that's not what's really hyping it. It's still kind of Orcust, and Nestor seems to be that combo piece that people really enjoy when they're teching it. Also to note, DT Cyber Dragon, very, very affordable for the lowest copies right now. I personally really enjoy this variant if you're looking for some fun Cyber Dragons to have, although Toon Cyber Dragon, interestingly popping up. Let me know why this is. I think there is a reason to play it besides it being searchable by Toon Table of Contents, because some people choose to play it, but I feel like just summoning it and always going Mega Fleet and never attacking face feels really weird, yet this continues to go up on market. I mean, the Mega Pack variants are kind of weird versus the core sets, because core sets often end up cheaper. It's just a weird way that the market goes based off of quantities, so do always, like, check multiple variants of a card, because I'd rather have a first ed original than a first ed Mega Pack variant, and if I'm selling, hey, I'd like the extra change, thank you. Chaos Low Impact. This set is faltering before we even get to the special editions. Now, the Prismatics, I told you guys they were overinflated from the first set and that they were likely to fall. They fell like way past what I even expected. Pyro Phoenix just not seeing a lot of play in the Salad Boys that have been in Top Cut. I have faced this card though, and it is pretty impactful, yet people just can't find room in their extra decks. They're so freaking tight. And we look at Gorgon falling even further to almost the price of a box for its lowest copy. Seyfert is going up right now, and I've kind of turned my heart around. Like I said in previous market watches, I highly underestimated this card. I thought it had great potential but wouldn't do much, yet we see it in top after top after top, and I think this will be what really holds the set together and eventually go up even further at price when we look at cards like Chaos Dragon Levianeer that are stable in price and Dragons that have stayed for a while. Like, this card screams to me that you're going to need 3 of them most likely, and you're going to want to play it if you're playing any kind of Guard Dragon engine, period. Now, Abomination Prison, not really too fast to fall, even though it's lost the top spot. It's still towards $30 here. And Masquerena going down slowly, surprisingly. I'm seeing so many Orcust boards online end with this on their board and then have the Babble up so they can make their quick plays. I really like this card, yet it's going down because the special editions are bound to bring coolant, and sellers realize, I need to move my cards now. And you have the independent sellers as well that aren't necessarily top sellers that just want to move their cards. They want to get them out of their hands. So the rest of the set just complete fallout as we head towards the special editions, which should bring even a further coolant. People are asking me if they should buy their Unchained stuff now, and I feel like for the lowest of it, these are really good prices, yet I could see this maybe as low as $3 freaking after the special editions. I don't know what to tell you. Abomination's a generic 4 that's actually pretty underestimated, yet I could see this being $3. The quantities are fighting here, and you have a guaranteed coolant moving forward. So my advice is, yes, things could always spike, things could go up, but if you're interested in this deck, I personally would wait for the special editions. But if you're scared of these spiking again from this point, then make your move now using that TCG player link in the description down below. Smile. We also see the rest of the set just almost completely a joke in terms of pricing. There's not much, so if you want any of the Gladby stuff, you're looking around for the Tenyi stuff, Gallic Granite, anything at all, it's so freaking affordable right now. Omni Dragon Brotar is falling, speaking of dragons and combo pieces. This is something I would like keep my eye on, and if it dips towards 5, maybe get my own copy, like, just to have in case I ever want to go Guard Dragon and beat face with dragons, because I think this is underestimated. I think combo decks, because of Nibiru, aren't being looked at as much, and you have Apollosa to go into, you have so many options. I would keep my eye on this here. World Legacy Guard Dragon also falling as combo decks fall out of favor. They're still topping, they're still doing it, and they're in the hands of some of the best pros, so it speaks that maybe you need a little bit of skill to realize what you're playing around, or to consistently do your combos correctly and adapt to hand traps among Nibiru. It's still freaking good. Do not underestimate combo decks. And finally, I wanted to go over the Lost Art promotion here. Monster Reborn holding very stable over time. You have a lot of people listing the Japanese copies, but it's around the $16 mark. With the new Lost Art promotions, I wanted to kind of think, where will Solemn and Foolish really land? And I still think they're going to be around that $10 mark, with Foolish maybe being 15, because when I look at Skill Drain, this is a one of, and it's holding in at $9. Now, Ultra Skill Drain from before really held on well, and I think this has upward potential over time, despite being a one of thanks to the FNL list. Of course, you would play 3 if you could, but this card, you know, mainly finds its home in True Draco and other weird decks. I think that it speaks to us when we look forward at which lost arts we should be getting. And the rest of Exodia actually has kind of chilled out over time. So if you've been waiting for this, you know, instead of those $10 copies, you now have $5 copies that have just naturally flowed. So if you're a collector, you wanted your lost art English copies, you didn't want to go to Japan and get those OCG commons or other variants of them, here's your chance. They're very, very cheap, and I would suggest getting them now if you've been waiting. I think this is the bottom out because they will be collectible over time. People always love Exodia pieces, and I could see these being double ups as 10 in the long, long future, not like anywhere immediate. But that's my opinions on the Lost Art promos. What do you think? What are you going to grab? $2 copies of Hondas. That's beautiful. There's so many cheap different variants here for really amazing cards that I think the Lost Art promo offers, but again, the volumes of the cards speak to themselves on how many are on TCG Player. Thank you so much for watching today's Market Watch. I know it was a faster pace, so hopefully you could keep up and still get that information you crave on why things are happening with a little bit more of a brief information with so many more cards crammed together. What do you guys think of this pacing? Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you did enjoy it, and let me know what you think of everything down below. I know I went fast like Sonic, but there was so freaking much to